Good morning, you guys. Before we head out onto that clinic floor, I want to go through a little bit of information with you guys. How many of you guys have gone and finished your service and you've completed that blow dry, you've got your ticket signed off, and you're kind of like, what do I do now? All right. Well, there's certain steps that we take during our service completion. One of those steps is reviewing our take-home information with our guests. So we're going to walk through kind of the steps and why we do that. We want to review those recommendations at the end of the service. This gives us the perfect segue during our 2-minute plan to taking them into the take-home area and showing them where those products live. You also want to recommend products that you use that day and kind of refresh their memory. If maybe it took a long blow dry, there was a long service, maybe you talked about shampoo and conditioner you used at the beginning of a haircut and it ended up being a very technical haircut and it took a while. You want to remind them of the things that you've already been talking about. If the doctor gives you a pill at the doctor's office to help see if it's going to help take your pain away, then he writes you a prescription for that and it works, do you not go to the pharmacy and pick it up? Or do you just go home and you're like, oh, well, I'm glad that's over. Hopefully it doesn't come back. That's right. A doctor prescribed it to you. You guys are going to go back to the pharmacy and you guys are going to pick up that prescription. We want to think of our take-home recommendations as our hair prescriptions for our guests. So we're going to go through a little activity utilizing our lovely learning center. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to take complete a take-home recommendation form for your guests. Make sure that you're including their name at the top. This is something that you are writing for them. You want to go through that cleanser, go through that conditioner, any treatments you might recommend, any styling products you use that day. What did you finish the hair with? What can they take home that might help them recreate this style? Whether it's taking that neuro unclipped, if is it taking home a smoothing iron. What are you recommending for them to take home to recreate this look that you just created for them? Next, I want you guys to get this filled out. I want to tell you, take it to your learning leader, and then I want you guys to tell them why you made those recommendations for that guest. When you're making those recommendations, are you utilizing your product knowledge workbook? Are you saying that you're just using sculpting foam because it's a really cool mousse and it smells good, so I'm going to put it in your hair? No, you're letting them know. You're opening up your product knowledge workbook. You're letting them know that it's a conditioning foam that actually balances moisture in your hair while improving manageability and also giving you long-lasting memory. You want to inform them. You have to educate your guests. You don't just go in and you start taking a medication without asking your doctor about anything, right? You want to learn about it. At the end of those prescription commercials on TV, you always hear, please ask your doctor before this. It's the same with take-home products. They want to ask you, so sometimes they don't know that they should be asking you questions, so you need to educate them on those products that you're recommending. Next, I want you to actually take that take-home recommendation card, get it filled out. What services should they come in for next? What's the time frame that they should come back in? All of these things live on this recommendation form, as well as this handy-dandy date and time for their next reservation that you can get filled out with them at the service desk when they book that appointment. Last but not least, you want to put your name on it. This is something that you are giving to them from you. So you want to make sure that they understand that this is just your recommendation that you're making as a future professional. Next, you guys are going to bring after you've given that to them, you're going to come back and get 2 lovely boxes signed off for your effort. Next, last but not least, after a visit with your doctor where he solved your challenges, how many of you guys are like, no, I don't want that medication, forget about it. You guys trust the doctors that you go to. So the same way, your guests are going to start to trust you when you're making these recommendations for them. Guests purchase take home from people that they trust, that they feel like they're meeting their needs, not people that are salesy and pushy. And I know you guys don't like to feel that way. So just think of it as a quick little recommendation, and then, hey, if they buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. But as long as you're making those recommendations, guests do purchase that take home. So let's do a little quick review before we head out onto the clinic floor and have a really fun day. When in the service do you want to review your recommendations? That's right, at the end. What kind of people do guests purchase take home from? That's right, they purchase take home from people that they trust and that they think are solving their challenges. Last but not least, what sources do we have in order to make those proper take home recommendations? That's right, we have our product knowledge workbook. We also have our experience menu that can give us a little boost on maybe what service upgrades to use, and then that could also segue into what treatments they should be taking home. All right, you guys did great. Hopefully we'll utilize this information on the clinic floor today. I'll see you out there. Let's have a great day.